Hello, I'm Kevin from Crypto MY. In today's episode, let's talk about Solana price prediction today, and let's stay tuned. So this is Solana. If you guys haven't heard about Solana, in today's episode, I will tell you guys what is Solana about, why is it so hyped recently, and why is it keep on growing, and how high can Solana surge up to. So in this episode, let's talk about Solana. Okay, Solana is actually a decentralized blockchain built to enable scalable, user-friendly apps for the world. So to be more simplified, Solana is actually a blockchain network that seeks to develop an ecosystem of cryptocurrency-powered products and services. So Solana is actually very different to Bitcoin, but it offers a similar features to Ethereum. So the difference is, which is the providing the faster transaction fees, lower fees, and a programming capability that focus on flexibility. Solana can currently handle over 50,000 transactions per second, more than Ethereum and Bitcoin combined, and at a fraction of the cost. So when we're talking about cost, you can see that the average cost per transactions is only about this amount, and you can see now live transactions per second is about this amount. I can conclude that Solana having a very cheap cost of transaction, and it has a very fast speed of TPS, which is the transaction per second. So looking at Reddit, I actually found this throughout from the Reddit, Facebook, and I actually want to share with you. Okay, even though this actually is not really correct, the differentiation and the comparison between all the tokens, the amount and the information here is incorrect, but you can see that Solana is now so far the highest TPS, which is 65,000 transactions per second among other tokens. So this is incorrect. Maybe Cardano can even go higher, maybe Ethereum can go higher, but I could say that Solana so far is the best and the fastest transaction per second, and the average cost is about 0.0015. So it's very cheap. I actually tried to build a smart contract from Solana ecosystem, and I found out that the transaction fees of building a smart contract in Solana is quite cheap. So you can see that the transaction latency is about 0.4 seconds, number of validators about 702, and total transaction to date is 15 billion. From this picture itself, it shows that Solana is the clear winner compared to other token. Whether or not is it true, then really depends on whether your research is enough or not. So I'm not going to touch more about other tokens like Ethereum, Binance, Polkadot, Cardano, and so on. But I believe that most of that have their own pros and cons. So why is Solana so powerful is because of this matter and also the community itself. The community right now is very strong, and this token is on hype, on fire right now. So Solana right now has flipped XRP on the cryptocurrency ranking. So looking at here, the coin market cap, Solana is now ranking about number 6. Just flip XRP within 2 days or 3 days, closing about 60 over billion of market cap. So right now Solana is at the price of 208, and whether or not Solana could go even higher. So let's look at the overall technical analysis on this Solana. So looking at here right now, we are in Huobi platform. If you guys don't have a Huobi account, I'll put down the link at below. You guys can just directly register from there. So looking at Solana chart, this is very interesting. Why? Because looking at the weekly chart, let's start off with the weekly chart first. You can see this is how strong Solana was all the way from this week, and this week. 4 weeks continuous, going all the way up non-stop. And this was the breaking point, the breaking zone, when and how Solana go all the way up to $200. So when Solana break through the $50 price range at the weekly chart, you can see it went all the way up, closing above, and this was the resistance zone, the only resistance zone that you can find on Solana chart. So once it broke through, it just went all the way up like skyrocket non-stop without doing any much of market correction. But looking at daily chart, okay, I just want to point out daily chart. Daily chart seems to have some cool off here. I was expecting it will go all the way down to touching this support area, but eventually it doesn't. It just touched around $64 and then it just shoot all the way up. Why? Maybe it's because of the hype, maybe because of the community, maybe because of the beliefs that Solana project is so powerful to push the price even higher. And Solana, don't forget about Solana. Solana actually also have NFT. The NFT actually boosts a lot of Solana in price. So the NFT itself actually benefits the whole Solana ecosystem and also benefit it price itself to go even higher and higher. Looking at daily chart, very perfect. Doesn't seem like it's gonna go off anytime. Doesn't seem it's gonna come down anytime. Even the RSI looking way too much overbought. Look at here, way too much overbought. Right now it's staying around 491. It has been in this overbought area non-stop at this daily chart. So this is very I could say, not to say dangerous, but we need to be cautious. Why? Because we know that when the RSI stays around this overbought area, we might see a market correction, which is a major market correction. So yesterday Solana was having a market correction within like just an hour. So looking at here, you can see this is a very straight line all the way down to $133, and within few minutes or few hours later, it just recover all the way up non-stop, just closing above this area. But once it closes area, because of the Bitcoin falls also, then you see Solana was dropping all the way down, but eventually it didn't drop all the way to $133. It just closed all the way to around $140 and then it just took the move all the way back up again. So this is a very great move. Looking at Solana right now, is a little bit overbought at RSI at the 4-hour chart, but it doesn't seem like it has an issue going up even higher. So let's look at the Fibonacci retracement. Look at what's gonna happen next to Solana. So if we pull the Fibonacci line from here to here, we can see that, okay, let me put it here around this area. We can see that Solana 0.786 line and also the 0.618 line is falls around this area, and this is the support line. Okay, this is the support area that if Solana falls, it will go all the way back down to this area around $184. But you can see it actually went all the way down here, but it just closed all the way back up. Meaning that the buyers here are very strong, pushing the price even higher, so that you can see that many buyers are willing to buy it around this area. So this area is actually a major support for Solana. Okay, let's say if Solana managed or didn't manage to close above and it falls all the way back down, then you can see the next support area is around $175. So this area is the major support area. Okay, let me make it at the yellow color so we can see it clearer. So this is the major support right now for Solana, and this is the newest resistance zone that Solana need to break through. So this area is around $224. You ask me whether or not is it possible to happen. I believe that anything can happen to Solana. it can go even higher, it can stay around this area. But I think Solana right now will have what they call a rest around this area, cooling down the RSI first before it take another big move all the way up to this $220. So this $220, if let's say if managed to break through again, then you could see that Solana could go even higher all the way to $280, $270 to be exact. And this will be the game changer movement. Why? Because looking at here, $200 sitting at market cap around 60 over billion. Okay, let's say eventually it just go way beyond Cardano, around 78 billion. So it's about a multiply by I think another 30% or 50%. So it could really go all the way up to $250, $260, and that will bring Solana going all the way to top 3. So let's say if Solana making itself going all the way up to $260 and above, then you can see Solana could go even higher, making itself around the top 3 area. So you ask me whether it will overtake Cardano. I would say honestly, I would say that Solana in this recent surge, yes, it might and it has the possibility to go beyond these top 3. But don't forget that Cardano has the smart contract launching 3 more days more, which is 12 September. And once it launched, let's say Cardano successfully launched, don't care about the farts. I know there's a lot of fake news, there's a lot of bad news. They are trying to break down the Cardano community to push the price even further down. But if let's say, I don't want to say that it's 100% gonna work, because I believe that every technology that release, it will have bugs. Okay, whether the bugs is major or minor is another question. Okay, so I believe that based on Charles, what is stated is that most of the bugs are minor and it solved instantly by their team. So there's nothing to worry. That's the reason why Charles still insists that he's still gonna launch it on 12 September, and that will be the game changer. So I believe that most of the haters outside, the Cardano haters, they said that Charles will much likely delay the smart contract release, which is he's not going to release at 12 September. So let's say if Cardano really successfully release on the 12 September, then most likely you could see that the Cardano market cap could rise even higher again. Then you could see that Cardano and Solana could just compete each other, taking around this top 3 ranking and the top 4 ranking, which is after the Binance. I wouldn't say that Solana or Cardano is the best. This one is really depends on you, whether which project you are really interested in. I believe that both of them have different goals and different vision. So I wouldn't say that Solana is better or Cardano is better. I believe that both of them has their own pros and cons in the end. So I think that's all for today. But looking at Solana, it's this great project. I wouldn't deny that because of its fast transactions, because of its cheap transactions, because of how good is the NFT right now in Solana ecosystem and other more. Okay, so I think that's all for today's episode. If you like my episode today, remember to click like, share, and subscribe. Gonna see you guys soon, and goodbye.